Hi, I'm Dominic Golding, Director of the Nantucket Project Centre. Since you're listening to this site session, I assume you're interested in going to Nantucket to do your IQP. So let me tell you a little more about Nantucket and the Project Centre. Nantucket is a small island off the coast of Massachusetts. It's about 15 miles from east to west and 5 miles north to south, with a total area of 45 square miles. The island is really a large mound of sand and gravel left behind when the glaciers retreated 10,000 years ago. Nantucket is famous for its windswept beaches and treeless moors. More than half the island is protected as conservation land, with wide open spaces, numerous walking trails and bicycle paths, shown here in red. The wildlife is spectacular, from ospreys and snowy owls to seals and whales. There are no skunks, foxes or raccoons, and no poisonous snakes. Being 30 miles out to sea, it's one of the best places in the eastern United States to see the nighttime sky. It also has spectacular sunrises and sunsets. Nantucket is known for its sweet, delicious scallops that are raised in the shallow waters and eelgrass of the harbour. And they are in season whilst we are on island. Nantucket is also famous for its historic homes and buildings, narrow cobbled streets, waterfront views and glorious gardens. Nantucket was the whaling capital of the world from 1700 to about 1830. An enormous wealth flowed into all parts of the island economy. A high school football team is called the Whalers, and a whale figures prominently on the town seal and in many other places besides. When oil was discovered in Pennsylvania, the whaling industry collapsed, however, and Nantucket was all but abandoned. Nantucket slumbered until the 1950s, when a handful of wealthy people began to buy up the historic houses and derelict waterfront properties. Nantucket has since grown as a high-end resort community that is intent on protecting its history, architecture, and natural environment. Because the historic houses were abandoned rather than redeveloped, the historic core of downtown was left largely intact and now boasts more than 800 pre-Civil War buildings. Every summer, people flock to the island for vacations and day visits, arriving by ferry and plane, and the population swells from 15,000 to 60,000. This dramatic increase in population is both a blessing and a bane. It brings jobs and money, but it creates a host of problems, from parking and traffic congestion to housing shortages and massive energy consumption. This interplay of blessing and bane is the focus of many of the projects at the Project Centre. Since the Project Centre began in 2008, we've conducted 64 projects with more than 200 students. Most of our projects have been conducted with various town offices and departments, such as the Energy Office, Planning Office, Department of Public Works, Commission on Disabilities, and Town Manager's Office. We've conducted projects with museums, such as the Nantucket Historical Association's Whaling Museum and Maria Mitchell Association's Natural History Museum. We've also conducted projects with other non-profits, such as Remain Nantucket, Housing Nantucket, the Nantucket Land Council, and Sustainable Nantucket. Projects have focused on topics such as energy consumption, affordable housing, town roads and other infrastructure, sustainable food, and tourism. For example, in 2016, one team assessed the viability of electric cars on Nantucket. Another examined how to promote access for the disabled to the outdoors. And a third explored how to enhance the response times of the Nantucket Fire Department. The slate of projects varies from year to year, but you can be sure that the projects will have a similar mix of sponsors and topics as in previous years. All the projects are designed to give you a rewarding professional experience with opportunities to meet and rub shoulders with a wide range of interesting, knowledgeable people. The project sponsors and other islanders love having students around. They go out of their way to make you welcome, and they really do appreciate and use the results of your research. For more information on past projects, check out the Nantucket Project Centre website at the following URL. You'll be living in brand new, purpose-built, two-storey dormitory that is owned and operated by the Nantucket Yacht Club. The dormitory is located in the heart of downtown at the corner of Beach Street and Whalers Lane. The dormitory has large double occupancy bedrooms with ensuite bathrooms, and all linens and towels are provided. Shared laundry facilities, fully equipped kitchens and living areas are available on each floor. Wi-Fi is provided and the entire building is handicap accessible. Your advisors will consult with you during the prep term about rooming assignments. Students are not allowed to take cars to Nantucket since the dormitory has no parking space and parking on the street is extremely limited. Fortunately, Harvey Young of Young's Bicycles generously provides bicycles to all students and faculty free of charge for the duration of term. Bicycling is a marvellous way to get around the island, to see the island and to stay in shape at the same time. The island is flat, there are numerous paved bicycle paths, and there is very little traffic on island during B term, so bicycling is safe and free of hassles. The most distant sponsoring agencies are no more than 3 miles from downtown. A limited bus service runs on the major routes during the off-season. As an island 30 miles out to sea, the weather is much milder than the mainland. We often have balmy days in the 60s and 70s through mid-November, and generally the weather is quite mild through early December. The occasional storm may bring wind, rain and fog, but the storms are just part of island life and don't stay long anyway. Seldom is there any snow during our time on the island. Nantucket is an expensive place to live, but by going in the off-season, we're able to offer a very reasonably priced off-campus experience where you will feel that you really have been away. Cafes, restaurants, grocery stores, pharmacies, and many other stores are within easy walking or bicycling distance of the dormitory. The crowds of summer have left by the time we arrive on island in late October, which means it's easy to get around and you seldom have to wait in line. Eating out at the higher end restaurants can be expensive, but there are many more reasonably priced restaurants that stay open in the off season, and many offer deals at different times of the week. The Visitor Service Office maintains a list of deals and restaurants that are open each week. Of course, you can save money if you choose to cook and eat together at the dorms too. Students typically spend a lot of their free time hiking and biking across the island to explore its unique landscapes, architecture, history, and beaches. Students love to watch the sunsets and sunrises from different locations. Your advisors may organise group trips to iconic locations, such as Great Point Lighthouse, or local museums, such as the Whaling Museum and the Shipwreck Museum. Many students use the gym facilities at the high school, and some have become involved in activities with local residents, ranging from cheerleading and ice hockey to scalloping. Halloween is a grand spectacle. The town centre is closed to traffic, and hundreds of children and their parents and grandparents, and even some WPI students, parade around downtown in their costumes. Shopkeepers give out candy and musicians set up in the street. Thanksgiving is also very festive. Many temporary residents return to the island for the holiday, and many of the houses are decked out in Thanksgiving colours. The crowds return the first weekend in December, which is known as Stroll Weekend. Many restaurants and stores that were closed in the fall reopen for 3 days, and there are holiday concerts, plays, readings, and other special events at many different venues in the downtown area and even further afield. Christmas trees line the streets and it all looks very quaint and otherworldly. On Saturday, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus land by boat at Straight Wharf and ride up the main street. The Nantucket Project Centre offers projects in B term. Typically, we offer 6 projects with 4 students per project for a maximum of 24 students in each cohort. We always plan for a break during Thanksgiving. You can choose to stay on Nantucket or return home for that week. If you have questions about the Nantucket Project Centre, feel free to email me. Of course, the best way to find out about Nantucket is to talk to students who have been there, so I encourage you to ask around. You can find names of past students on the Nantucket Project Centre website. Thanks for your interest in the Nantucket Project Centre, and I look forward to seeing you in Nantucket someday soon. For additional details about budgets and to begin the application process, go to the eProjects portal at the URL shown. Thank you.